Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Quick History. What we're going to be looking at today is we're going to be looking at Germany before the war and the policy what's called weltpolitik. Now, as always, there is a link in the description for a free handout, and make sure you click on subscribe if you like what you see. Let's get into the details. Germany before the war is an interesting case. One of the big misconceptions which a lot of students kind of fail to acknowledge is that Germany as a country does not exist until 1870-71. It's a collection of states such as Prussia and Bavaria which formed together to form the country of Germany in 1870 as a result of the Franco-Prussian War, which is we'll look at when we look at the start of the First World War. Now, Germany was led by the Kaiser. Kaiser is another word for essentially king in Germany, and Kaiser Wilhelm II had relations to the British monarchy. He was a keen believer in the armed forces and a keen believer in Germany doing two things. One, building up a navy, and two, building up an empire. This is what the Kaiser famously referred to as his weltpolitik. And if you ever see that word, this is what he's talking about. Weltpolitik. It means world policy. How was Germany, a brand new country, going to adapt and survive in this new world that was being forged in the early part of the 20th century? Well, it began with the German Navy. The Kaiser was adamant that Germany should have a strong navy. There were two reasons why he wanted this. First of all, it would help with the German aim of building up an empire. Germany was late to the party when it comes to imperialism, when building up an empire, and it did begin to start to take land in Central Africa. But if they wanted to have a much more global empire like Britain and France, it was going to need a huge navy. So the German Kaiser committed to building a great deal of ships. It also wanted to do so because it wanted to compete with Great Britain. The Kaiser is related to the British royal family and, importantly, believed that Germany having a strong navy would bring a threat to Great Britain. And they believed that to be a good thing. Indeed, the Kaiser was keen to break that two-power standard of the British Navy and spent a great deal of money building dreadnoughts and military equipment and military ships, which would therefore act as a threat to Britain on the seas. A very famous German politician once said that whoever rules the waves rules the world, and the Kaiser was very much a believer in this, which is why he spent a great deal of money building up that German Navy. Now, the German weltpolitik has a number of effects, and there are three which I think you really need to remember. The first one is the weltpolitik came as a great concern to Britain and France, but primarily Britain. Remember, Germany's got a very small empire. Britain and France have very large empires. There's only so much land in the world to go around. Were Germany planning to take some land from the French and British empires to add to their own, that was going to be a threat to Britain and France. Secondly, in response to Germany building up all these ships, an arms race begins, and that's what we're going to look at in the next video, about who can build the most ships. Germany wants a large navy to build up an empire and to act as a deterrent on the seas. Britain is determined to maintain a two-power standard so it can defend its empire and defend its country. Britain's an island. So a huge round of building of naval ships and an arms race develops in Europe. And thirdly, countries begin to form alliances. They're alarmed by Germany's developing strength and developing weltpolitik, and as a result, France, who were defeated in the Franco-Prussian War, seek alliances with Britain and Russia to form the Triple Entente because they're worried about what a Germany, expanding Germany, means in Central Europe. So weltpolitik, this German idea of building up an empire and building up a navy, this worldview, had tremendous repercussions across Europe before the First World War. I'll see you in the next video when we're going to look at the arms race and militarism. Make sure you get your free handout from the link in the descriptions. Make sure you click subscribe if you like what you see, and I'll see you in the next video.